Hi, my name's Maya, and I am a first time mom who's staying home alone for many hours of the day. So, as the title suggests to this channel, the purpose of it for me is um, to have some kind of like creative outlet and to also share what it's like for me, because I know a lot of people are going through the same thing of being stuck at home for the safety of their children and themselves and their family, while also trying to figure out how to be a parent. Maybe you've been a parent before, but pandemic is a new situation for all of us. So I don't know. I just wanted to share my experience, and hopefully it will, you know, make you feel a little bit more connected to someone else as well. I live in Glendale, California, which is basically Los Angeles, California, if you don't know. It's just right above it. I'm 38, and I have my first baby, Luna, who's sleeping. Ooh. I haven't been able to get her to transition to naps without being on me during the day. She'll sleep at night in the bassinet, but she will not sleep anywhere but on me during the day. I tried for 4 hours today, didn't work. So yeah, my husband is gone for 10 hours a day between leaving, working, and coming back. Don't have anyone living with me. We had tried to make it so that my mom lived with us, but it did not work out. And because, we're being super careful about who comes over, there's really not anybody consistent or even really anybody right now that can come over and hang out and help me with the baby. I got really lucky though. I had from the third week for another 5 weeks, I had my friend Jessica Joy come, and that was a huge help. She did mostly like cooking. She did a lot of holding so I could actually take a nap and a shower. That first month and a half is super rough, so that was rad having her here. And she just stayed here and went by the rules of how we're being safe, and that was really helpful. And then after she left, like a week and a half later, my best friend came from Portland, and he stayed with us for like a little over 2.5 weeks. At that point, I had more of a flow, but still, he did like laundry, housework, cooking every day. And then, like about 3 times he held for, Luna so I could take a nap. So I feel lucky that I had any kind of support. Now it's been like 2 weeks or something like that, since I haven't had anybody around. So like a week gap, and now it's been about 2 weeks again that I've been on my own. It's interesting though, because you would think that 3 people between my husband and myself and my good friends would be enough to raise a baby, but it was really hard even with that. Definitely didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm in it and we're doing it, so it is what it is. So now this is the amount of time I'm spending. And then on one of my husband's 2 days off, I work a 5-hour shift at a bookstore. So that's my one time I get out. I didn't even really want to do it. I kept the job because they were super sweet and held my position, even though they didn't have to, for me to come back. And I really like working at a small bookstore, and I needed to not refuse work so I didn't screw over my unemployment when I got off of disability. Then unemployment screwed me over, and I was too honest, and I told him I didn't have childcare, and so therefore I'm disqualified for unemployment, even though I was looking for work. So financial part of this is a huge thing for a lot of people, so I'm sure I'll be talking about that some too. But back to the stupid stuff. Not that any of it's stupid. I'm sure you could see my 80s goth rock mullet thing going on. I am going to dye it black to complete the look. I figured if I'm on quarantine, well, not quarantine, stay safer at home. I don't have COVID. If I'm staying at home and I'm going to constantly have bedhead, I might as well just make it go all the way. I'm probably one of the only moms, very few of the moms on YouTube that you're going to see without cute makeup and a perfectly made bed behind them and showing you products. Because that's just not the reality of when you're actually doing it. I mean, power to them if they can make themselves look good every day, or maybe they just really needed to look good for a day for the camera. I'm not hating on that at all. That's not been my experience. I don't really feel like that's the main priority for me right now, even though, yeah, I don't even know if it'd make me feel better. Maybe it would. One day I'll try it. But, so I will be coming to you with all my glory, and you will see terrible outfits because it's completely based off of comfort. I dress according to what I can both sleep in and function in the day. So I only have to change once. I know I'm not the only one. Oh man, I actually stopped wearing pajamas because that was making me feel crappy. Like it was making me feel like a sloth. Like, ugh. So now I'm wearing like weird athletic gear mixed with skirts and random shirts and leggings, and I don't know, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I think the hardest part again is the being alone, especially because I am bipolar. I'm waking up. I am bipolar. That was a huge issue from like just a month into my first trimester. It was really apparent that I had to go back on my medication because I had stopped for a couple years and was able to self-regulate. Oh no, not with those hormones. Had to increase it in my third trimester because I had a lot of family issues that were making it worse. And then now pandemic and financial stress is just up to my dose again. Have another appointment to talk to my psychiatrist about possibly changing medication / adding a different one, because the reality is that it's going to be a lot of months of this. Like, it's beyond Groundhog Day at this point. Groundhog Day at least had some comedy, and you knew it was a 2-hour movie or whatever, and it was going to end at some point. This is not a movie. This is not 28 Days Later. This is not anything like that. This is stuck in the moment every day. And, you know, even despite the environment being basically the same every day, I'm not the same person every day because God knows where my emotions are, or, you know, where my mind is. And then she's not the same person every day, which totally affects, you know, of course, you know, where I'm at. So it's not even, it's like predictable. It's like overly predictable and monotonous, and at the same time like unstable. It's really weird. I haven't been diagnosed with postpartum depression, although I definitely have the symptoms, including, you know, disturbing thoughts and stuff like that. But because I was already bipolar and I was going through a depressive period, basically just being treated for that, which makes sense. Depression is depression. But so I would say I have some extra challenges in that way. But I know that there's a lot of women that are super depressed. I also had a very difficult time with my breastfeeding. I was overly fatigued, and I did try to breastfeed every 2 hours. Sometimes my husband would let me sleep in. Sometimes I physically couldn't get up. And there was something wrong with my letdown. My milk supply didn't build up. It didn't even come in quite as quickly as it really should have. And then it didn't build up as quickly as it should have. It wasn't like, bam, my milk came in. It was like millimeters at a time. So, you know, at first it was like nursing her for 2 hours, and she was mostly satisfied and still needed to top off, like stuff like that. It was insane. Extremely draining, extremely emotional. No one told me it's not this difficult thing where you have to pump and try these herbs and, you know, all the different tricks you try to do to make it work. I didn't know how much postpartum and newborn education I really should have had, but, you know, it's hindsight's 2020. So now we have staying at home, pandemic, crazy breastfeeding issues. And that was the only thing I was really gung-ho about, it was really important to me. Anyway, so then we would transition to just comfort nursing, so she'll go to bed or when she was happy, and then eventually she got big enough that she hated how slow the milk flow was, and it just frustrated her. She was so upset. So I had to give up because it broke my heart to see her so upset. And you know, every time she'd go for it, it just broke my heart to be like, no, you can't, because I knew in the long run it was just causing her more stress and causing me more stress emotionally. And I really mourned that. I mean, I was in the shower just crying and crying and crying, you know, accepting what was going on. And I know I found out through Mommy to Mommy on Facebook group and First Time Moms group on Facebook. I'm not alone with that either. Totally thought I was. I would say that joining those Facebook groups has been helpful, actually. I've done Facebook groups for like other things in life and found it was mostly just people dumping their stuff on everyone. But I don't feel that way about the mommy groups. And I think probably one of the biggest reasons why is because every mommy knows how bad it is. So they're just like, even when people are like confessing to like, I dropped my baby and blah, 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 like everybody's super supportive. Because it's so hard and we all mess up. So I think that's a good resource if you're looking for a way to connect and learn tricks and tips on baby stuff, obviously. Not just how we feel, but what we could do about the babies. So yeah, so I had to, for my mental health and for her well-being, had to give that up. But I'm still pumping, you know, so she gets a couple bottles of breast milk a day. Good for her. My lactation consultant, though, I worked with her 4 times, had told me that she's never seen, you know, she's never talked to so many patients with milk supply problems ever in her career. So the stress, because, you know, stress affects breast milk supply, which definitely probably contributed to mine. She said she's never seen it this bad. A lot of women are struggling. Most of the women that she's been talking to have given up breastfeeding or do unlimited breastfeeding, or it's taking them a long time to build their supply, you know. So it's interesting, you know, it's obvious that stress affects the body. I mean, it definitely, you know, there was a point in my life where I was precancerous for a year and a half, and it was literally stress. I was told by a doctor, like, take out processed food, sugar, and stop alcohol, and quit one of your jobs, and bam, I was clear. So I know from the past that stress can affect the body. I just never thought about how it would affect breastfeeding. Ooh, I see Peepers open. She woke up. What other ways has it affected things financially? Like I said, I mean, she's so young, I can't even go to a job anyway. And even doing like customer service jobs from home, I don't have an extra set of hands to hand her off to. So to commit to a 5-hour shift is like, there's no way I'm going to be on the phone with a customer or be able to live chat on time with someone. So I've been looking at like, you know, stuff that pays pennies, you know, like surveys and random task assignments thing. I think it's called Amazon Merc or something like that. A lot of them, like Rev and Appen, a lot of those online like micro job, remote like companies are not even accepting applications because there's so many people trying to work from home that they're filled up. So, you know, everybody keeps telling me, oh, try Amazon. They're always hiring people for at-home customer service. That's not true. It's not true. I've looked. My mom has looked. Oh, just, you know, I'm an artist and everything. They're like, oh, just, you know, build up your Etsy store, which I already have an Etsy store. But like, again, how much time and effort do I really have to spend on creative projects? It might take a couple hours at a time. I don't really have it right now. I'm sure I'll have it at some point. Not right now, especially because she doesn't know how to sleep for nap times without being on me. So my movement during that time is pretty limited. So luckily my husband, his job was considered essential and has very limited contact with other people. Like he really works on his own. So we're lucky we have that. But I don't have an income pretty much at this point. And I was going to hold off on paid family leave. But I guess I have to go ahead and do it, which is going to be a bummer because then I have to tell my boss, who was so sweet and held my job during the shutdown and during my maternity leave, even though he didn't have to. I'm going to be like, look, dude, I can't pay my rent unless I do paid family leave and do it now. And I'm really bummed about that. And that's, 8 weeks and then it's done. So, but if I don't do it, we can't pay rent in September. And unlike Los Angeles, in Glendale, California, there's no eviction freeze. And they do not care. Glendale is brutal. They do not care about tenants' rights. So, yeah, that's fun. I mean, I can't be homeless during a pandemic with a 3-month-old. I can't do that. I have no, and then you can't have a baby without a car, at least not safely. So it's like, I have been like for months, like streamlining the budget. I mean, we are doing like the basics. Stopped paying my credit cards. Still don't know how I'm going to work it out. And I know so many people in that boat. I think my best friend's going to move in with us because he was in the event industry. He was a floral, event space designer. His industry is gone. He doesn't have money to pay rent. He's probably going to come down from Portland and just live with us. And he doesn't have money for rent even here, so the way of him contributing is just going to be, again, helping with the baby, helping with the house, which I'm totally down with, and especially because last thing I want is for him to be homeless too, So maybe together we'll work it out, There's 2 brains now extra than my husband's, and we'll figure something out. I don't know. So yeah, I'm sure that the financial stress isn't helping my depression and being alone all day. There's things to do like call people, which I do sometimes, especially if I can't stay awake. If I talk to someone, oh good, she's asleep again. If I talk to someone, it'll keep me awake enough for long enough so I don't fall out, which is dangerous. But like, how many phone conversations can I really have? And like, what do I have to talk about other than basic baby stuff and depression? Like, I don't have anything else going on. Not really right now. So I guess there's a part of me that doesn't even want to reach out, and I don't really consistently. And I've had so many people hit me up, especially moms who are like, I know what this is like. And it must be so much harder right now. Please call me. Please reach out. And it's like, I don't do it as often as you would think I would want to, considering the situation. I think I really have to push myself to do that more. And I don't really have the leisure time right now or any money to do anything like there's a lot of paid classes right now online for different low reasons, physical exercises, creative stuff, spiritual stuff, but I don't really have that right now. Luckily, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I want to start exercising so bad. My body is just killing me. It's like both like an endurance race and the slothiest I've ever been. I have never watched this much TV in my life. I've never sat for this long in my life. I have butt pimples, big butt pimples, from having to sit and hold her and all that kind of stuff for so long. My body's never been in this shape. I was always a very active person. And it's hot, so doing walks really, really helps my sanity, but it's hot, so we can't really do walks. We can do walks either early morning, which doesn't work because there's like a couple hours in the morning window that my husband takes her downstairs because like clockwork, 6 or 7 o'clock, she's having issues with gas and is upset, so he takes her downstairs. And I get like 2 hours of like solid sleep there after, piecemealing some hours here and there or minutes here and there before that. There's no way I'd get through the day without that 2-hour block. So I'm not willing to do that. So at sunset, if it hasn't been in the like high 90s, 100, it gets just cool enough that I could do like a 15-20 minute walk. So I try, and that's if it works with her schedule. What if she's cranky at that time, or what if I have to feed her at that time? You know what I mean? So I wish I could go outside every day, but I kind of can't. I wish I could. I miss being outside a lot. I'm hoping as she gets older, that'll get better, and I think it will. The park is just far enough that I definitely can't really get there on a regular basis right now. I don't have a car during the day either. That's the thing. If I had a car too, like I just go somewhere, you know, or just drive. But I can't do that because my husband needs a car during the week. I know it sounds like I have like a bunch of excuses, but I'm talking about I have been dissecting my life every day. What can I do? What can I do? I was even telling my husband today, I was like, I don't like malls, but if I had a car and there wasn't a pandemic and I was having the depression I'm having, I would just take her to the mall and just sit there and like get something to eat randomly and feed her randomly and just walk around, like just to be around people and just to like have some stimulation and like go somewhere. You know what I mean? Remember the 80s? People used to hang out at malls and they had those big hangout areas. I remember they had these like carpeted steps that go down to like a play pit for the kids. Yeah. And then the 90s happened and they're like, oh, y'all are not spending money. Go home. Thanks. I just dated myself, but I don't really care. Well, it's the beginning of my ranting. I will be having hopefully more structured videos after this, but I just kind of wanted to start laying out what my day is like and starting this channel, and hopefully I'll have, you know, some insightful, uplifting things to say at some point. Yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, the one thing I can say is that I'm very grateful that I even have a support system, even if they can't be with me right now. So I'm just going to try to focus on that as much as I can. Okay. Be safe, stay healthy, stay sane. You're doing it. We're all doing it. All right. Bye.